Welcome to the second of our series of On the Radar, where we'll be speaking with Beauhurst subscribers to understand the trends going on in their sector and in the wider high-growth economy. And we'll also be talking to them about how they use Beauhurst in their day-to-day processes, and ultimately how they use it to win business and grow themselves. I'm pleased to be your host today. Toby, would you like to introduce yourself and tell us a bit about Bailey Fisher?
Yeah, thanks, Henry, and it's obviously great to be here. Bailey Fisher is an executive search firm. So we work with high growth technology and life sciences businesses in terms of recruiting their senior level talent. Business has been around a long time. We're in our 25th year, so we've got our 25th year party next week. Our client base is predominantly within the UK. Although we source candidates from the kind of global marketplace. We really work with companies that obviously Beauhurst tracks. So really from a kind of seed stage through to Series B, Series C, and we obviously work with listed businesses as well, but purely within that kind of technology and life sciences space. I personally are a co-owner of the business. I've been with the business over 10 years now and have worked within the recruitment sector for coming up to 25 years. So, the use of data has become, increasing on a day-to-day basis within our industry, and Beauhurst is a kind of key part of what we do on a day-to-day basis.
Great. Thanks very much, Toby, and thanks for your time. I'm wondering if we could start about how you actually use the platform to find new leads and win new business. One of the more straightforward use cases.
Yeah, I guess there's kind of two different ways in which we use Beauhurst, and over the past, we've obviously worked and utilised the tool for several years now, and if I look at it from a kind of business development perspective, the way that the data that's provided on a daily basis that keeps us updated with news and information on particular companies is really valuable. The way that we can organise and structure our business development by sectors and subsectors. So if we look at the semiconductor industry, for example, and the way that we can organise companies within a particular search that stays there and then automatically updates us when something changes, whether that be investors or employees or a particular milestone that company set, all that information is really valuable. It gives us stuff to then talk about with customers on a kind of daily basis. And as I say, if you go into my Beauhurst homepage, there's loads of different searches that I have that say update all the time. And so that's just really useful in terms of how we track and manage the market and our customer base. Yeah, it's become the kind of first thing I do when I log on is open up the Beauhurst platform. If I think about when we initially engage with a company, so if they want us to hire a new CEO, it's very useful even before we've won that work in terms of kind of pitch preparation. So Beauhurst helps us really understand the key investors. And that's everything from angel investors that can be really important through to the institutional investors, and also how that shareholding split, because that information, allows you to understand the influential parties with any particular business, and making sure that we are engaged with the right individuals within that organisation. So we use that in terms of our kind of pitch preparation, through to if we then won a particular assignment, then we'll then go back to Beauhurst and look at, for example, you've got similar companies that will be aligned to the company that we're working with, which can be a list of, depending on how niche the technology is, it can be a list of anywhere between 20 and 80, 90 companies. So, we've always described ourselves as a research-driven search firm, and we do that through a number of different ways, but Beauhurst being a key part of that, because that automatically gives us 60, 70 companies to look at that will be aligned to the company that we're working with. So it's a good kind of great starting point. And there's an existing kind of CEO search that we're currently working on where we did exactly that. It threw up a number of companies, some that we weren't aware of, And I think we're about to make an appointment through that kind of process. So it's become a key part of the research that we do in terms of really understanding that market that we're operating in, and gives us the kind of, I guess, the extra information that we wouldn't have if we didn't have the tool. I think it just accelerates the process that we're doing, that allows us to make sure that we're covering the whole of the market when we're talking with clients to say, we've been through the entirety of your particular sector, and these are the top 6-7 candidates that we think are applicable to this particular search.
Mm-hmm. So once you've got to you're working with a company, you've used the similar companies tab to find the people working there who might be appropriate for the mandate you've got. Do you then go into those profiles and further diligence the sort of tech that they're working on?
So we might look at the company and the tech might be aligned, or it might not. It might not be. It might not be as relevant as we first thought, but the CEO could be relevant because of what they've done previously, and obviously you've got the kind of key employee on Beauhurst, which is again very helpful for us. We will then take it a kind of stage further, but it's become such a useful tool in just making sure that we understand the companies that we're working with, but also the target companies where we might find the right individual.
And for the alerts that you work through on some of these companies that you're tracking through the platform, do you receive those through emails? Because obviously we have customizable emails that can send you on daily or thrice a week frequency alerts about the things you're interested in, but you can also go through and when you're ready, look at the latest changes to the collections. Do you have
it depends, actually. I've got so many different searches set up, so I don't have alerts for all of them. Otherwise, my inbox would be a nightmare to manage. But sometimes I turn them on and off depending on what we're working on at any particular time. As I say, often I just go into the search or on a daily basis and just update it. Read and update myself. But the reports are really valuable in terms of the information we gain, in terms of making sure we're staying on top of the broader market, and also we can share those with potential clients, etc., and we're often kind of commenting on those on LinkedIn, etc. So it's good from a kind of marketing perspective for us as well.
That's very, very kind of you to say. I didn't actually ask you to say that, but just to declare an interest, those are the reports that are put together by my team. So I'm glad to hear that they are that they are useful. I wonder if I could ask you for the sort of benefit of the others on the call who are either using Beauhurst or thinking about using Beauhurst, whether there's any advice or anything like that in terms of how you use it and how people could incorporate it into their processes that you might give to them?
That's a good question. I guess it depends on what part of the industry that you're working in. I think for us, it's incredibly, to be frank, we've looked at a number of different platforms that do similar type stuff to Beauhurst. And I don't know if I should say this publicly, but we went to use one of those and we actually came back to Beauhurst, you probably remember, because the kind of user experience is very straightforward on Beauhurst. The team find it really easy to use. And so it's, I think if you're looking for information on companies in a central platform, where you don't have to go to Companies House, you don't have to go to other kind of potential sites where you could access that data, and sometimes you'd have to pay for it. It's just centrally collated. It's all there. It allows you to track things in a really kind of simplistic way. It's just been a very easy tool to use. So, if we've got a new starter within the business, you don't really need training on Beauhurst. It can be done in 5 minutes, and you've got a kind of full appreciation. And people can get lost in it for a couple of hours because you're always learning about companies. And especially from an investor perspective, understanding investors and shareholdings in businesses, we find that kind of really valuable and interesting. So I think depending on how you want to use it and what information you want to gain, to us, it's certainly been the leading platform in the UK. And I'm not just saying that because you asked me on the school. I'm just speaking frankly in terms of, the benefit that we've seen from it. And and as I say, it's been a great asset to our business. We use other research tools alongside Beauhurst, but it does make sure we do have full coverage of the market when we're looking for particular candidates.
Thanks, Toby. That's very helpful, and hopefully, if there are anyone on the call hesitant about using Beauhurst, that might assuage their concerns.
The other tool that we have used in the past is PitchBook, which is a US-based company. That's actually maybe a question for you, Henry, would be, Beauhurst's international kind of reach would be interesting to understand whether that's a plan for your business, because that is something that PitchBook did offer for us in the US when thinking about US clients.
Yeah, absolutely, and it is a question that has come up before. We cover the UK, PitchBook cover the rest of the world. If you need good quality UK data, then we are your best source. PitchBook, like us, do look at equity fundraising as a trigger. We track unannounced deals in addition to announced deals. So the work we do on filings at Companies House allows us to pick up on about, it depends on the year, it's about 50 to 60% of the market actually goes unannounced, especially at the very earliest stage. So if you're looking to win new business, often the easiest time to do that is when a company is younger and less advanced. So if you're wanting to begin that relationship early, we're finding out about the friends and family round, the angel rounds, which just aren't announced publicly and so aren't available through other data sources. So we do understand why other people might use other data platforms. We are, for the time being, only UK focused, although we do track sort of inflows to the UK. So if you're interested in foreign direct investment, we look at money coming into the UK, no matter where it comes from. But in terms of the companies that we track at the moment, they have to be functionally headquartered in the UK. So yeah. We have our USP, and it is a UK US USP.
And the data that you have, if I was to compare it to PitchBook, is much quicker, much more accurate, et cetera, because as I say, you have that UK focus, and predominantly our clients are UK based. So that's why we work with Beauhurst.
Great, thank you. We've reached the top of the hour. Toby, thanks so much for your time and for your candor in telling us about both what you're seeing in the market and how you use Beauhurst. I hope it's been very helpful to everyone else on the call. So thanks, Toby, and I wish the rest of you a very pleasant rest of the afternoon.